Unlike the many anti-Zionist Jews that you know that are not in tokens, no matter how much Ethan Klein claims that they are, this is a token. And he's a paid token. He uses the death of his family as a way to literally do propaganda for the state of Israel. It is insane. Yeah. Lonerbox is a denier or a supporter, actually. I wouldn't say he's a denier. I think he's a supporter. And so is Ethan Klein. Just because someone says that they are, that they agree that it's, or maybe it is, and then sometimes they actually don't say it is, doesn't change the reality of your entire output as a content creator, as a commentator with a massive audience, not Lonerbox, but at least for Ethan Klein, is around attacking people who actually correctly call it and demanding their deplatforming. Then you're not actually an advocate for Palestinians. You're a goddamn piece of shit. A goddamn piece of shit who actually raised money for the dares, as a matter of fact, by duping his audience, by claiming that he was raising money for the Palestinians. The depravity never ends, okay? It is insane to me that I didn't even want to mention that because I was like, there's no way, right? There's no way, right? Nope. Turns out the one time that he had another supposedly pro-Palestinian voice on was that one guy that works for the Atlantic Council, who unironically is a token, by the way, okay? Anti-Zionist Jews represent a much larger percentage and a much larger voice in the pro-Palestinian emancipatory movement than the one singular Palestinian guy who turns around and works with people who work at the ADL and works with the Atlantic Council. Yeah, he did that shit, by the way. So, Ahmed Fuad al-Khatib, okay, is a propagandist for Israel. Apparently, Ethan had him on. His brother then literally turned around and made it seem as though they were fundraising, told his audience that they were fundraising for Palestinians in Gaza. Okay? The fundraiser was for the Atlantic Council directly. All proceeds went to the Atlantic Council. He presented it as though he was fundraising for the Palestinians in Gaza. I cannot imagine something more gross than this. It is crazy. The Atlantic Council is an American Defense Department think tank, chatters. It's like the Foundation for Defending Democracy, okay? It is an American think tank in the field of international affairs. Unimaginable. Unimaginable, dude. And yeah, from what I understand, the funds were directly going to the, like, here's the email. Thank you for reaching out. And for your question, the donations page on our website goes to support our work through the Atlantic Council. This includes helping Ahmed and our team and to allow him to be able to do many of the media appearances he does, to meet with policymakers and do all the writing and things that have helped launch the work for Realign for Palestine. I hope that answers your question. Happy to hop on a call to discuss if that would be helpful. Thank you, Melanie. And from what I understand, I think this person used to work for the ADL too, by the way. It's not a charity. The donate link does not mention being a 501c3. It's just straight up donating to the Atlantic Council. He had two charity links. One link was for aid, but the first link was for Atlantic Council. This is what Ethan was doing fundraisers for, by the way. The Realign for Palestine project. Amplify pragmatic voices who courageously advocate for Palestinian statehood and self-determination, unequivocally reject violence, terrorism, and extremism, and acknowledge a two-nation solution. It's not a surprise that the likes of Ahmed are oftentimes retweeted and quote retweeted with regular frequency from the Israel Ministry of Foreign Affairs. They are working in unison. An American think tank that works with the American foreign policy apparatus in the State Department is obviously going to be pro-Israel. And of course, those people that work there, regardless of their background, are still absolutely working in collaboration with the state of Israel. And yes, Israel killed his entire family, by the way. Yes, insane. Plus a mention of working family parties as an afterthought, even though they needed donations. Wait, WFP? A World Food Program. As an afterthought, even though they don't need the donations out of all organizations, they just need the blockade to open, but it was like an afterthought anyway. He presented them both as if they were equally important. I cannot believe how you would turn around and try to send donations to a pro-Israel think tank, dude. It is crazy.
The worst thing that I've seen the H3 podcast do so far, and that's obviously saying a lot. They are scamming people into donating for Palestine, except it's not actually donations for Palestine. It's not donating to like a charity like the UNRWA or the PCRF or something like that. No, it's donations for Palestine that they are soliciting, which go to a pro-Israel propaganda organization. So in that podcast episode from today, Ethan Klein had a talk with Ahmad Fouad Al-Khatib, who is like this pro-Israel Palestinian who says, you know, Palestinians are at fault for all of their own misery. Israel does nothing wrong. And he works for the Atlantic Council propaganda organization. He's basically like the one guy who these Israelis prop up as their like token, look, a Palestinian who agrees with us sort of guy. So he always does the rounds. It seems like they can't find any other. But this video isn't about that. I'll probably be covering that on my stream this week. This video is about something that's even worse than that, if you can believe it. There's a part of this stream, timestamped and called Donate to Palestine, in which Ahmed solicits donations for a project of the Atlantic Council, which is explicitly actually pro-Israel. And Ethan Klein is calling it Donate to Palestine. And Ahmed himself also tried to imply this was donations for Palestine, rather than literally just throwing your money at a pro-Israel think tank / propaganda organization. So here's that segment. See, Donate to Palestine. What's he got to say? Let's check it out.
As I work at the Atlantic Council, where I am a resident senior fellow, but also I run Realign for Palestine through the Atlantic Council, and I have a we have like a website, realignforpalestine.org. There is a donate button. And yeah, so like you're certainly folks can donate there, but also I would encourage folks to.
By the way, I need you to understand, Ahmed Al-Khatib has written for Barry Weiss's The Free Press. Israel killed 31 of my family members in Gaza. The pro-Palestine movement isn't helping. Over the last 2 decades, Western activists have only made things worse for my people. Barry Weiss also, again, is a agent of Hasbara. This person basically works for the fucking state of Israel. Maybe not directly, but pretty much as directly as you can get, okay? Unlike the many anti-Zionist Jews that you know that are not fucking tokens, no matter how much Ethan Klein claims that they are, this motherfucker is a token. And he's a paid token. He uses the death of his family as a way to literally do propaganda for the state of Israel. It is insane. There are other versions of this as well. You have the John Aziz, the peace poet or whatever. That's another one of those guys. There's a couple of these dudes. Some of them are more depraved than others. Obviously, the most depraved version of this is the son of Hamas guy who was a fucking Mossad agent. Yeah. Ahmed Al-Khatib, the Azagazan, I Love Israel Gazano, who gets paid by the Israeli lobby and is a literal torturer of Palestinians, wrote a deranged screed calling me a Nazi and implying I'm some foreign agent. Let's be absolutely clear. Ahmed Al-Khatib is a disgusting Zionist Gazano asset, beloved by Western media because he launders their Zionist propaganda with a Palestinian face. And unlike his deranged smears, I can easily prove this. Ahmed Al-Khatib first became known as the go-to as a Gazan I Love Israel huckster through the Atlantic Commission. To the Atlantic, commissioning him to write pieces for them. Okay, this is the Atlantic. Jeffrey Goldberg's prison. Norman Finkelstein writes for the Counterpunch. Okay, the Atlantic is run by, if you guys remember, Jeffrey Goldberg, who you might know his name because he was recently in the news because he was in that fucking group chat on Signalgate. And if you recall, I told you very much about his background as an Israeli concentration camp guard. Okay. Anyway, Ahmed Al-Khatib keeps getting invited to CNN, MSNBC, The Atlantic, and other Western liberal mainstream media to be their little pet as a Gazan boy to launder all their grotesque smears. And he got his entire career as such from a literal Israeli torturer and killer of Palestinians who writes about Palestinians being killed with utter genocidal glee and joy. That's Goldberg that Z is talking about here. And if you want to understand further, if you look at last night, I spent a few hours there before the police dispersed the encampment. I wanted to see the pro-Palestine student protest for myself and get a sense of the atmosphere, energy, and students, as well as the movement's focus and the desired goals. You're a hero. May God bless you and protect you, says Batya Unger Sargon.
To consider the World Food Program has a Gaza Appeals page that is dedicated just for
What is this? Project Unified Assistance? Ahmed asked to interview you when he was talking to Ethan. Please do and put him back in his place. Fuck no. Yeah, dude. So that they can fucking cut more propaganda to be like Hasan talks down the Palestinians who don't love Hamas. I'm never going to give him a fucking platform. He already has enough in liberal media. The fuck? What's next, dude? Should I talk to members of the Israeli state as well and fucking normalize their positions too? Get the fuck out of here. Project Unified Assistance is a nonprofit organization based in San Francisco. Primary focus is a proposal to establish a humanitarian UN-operated airport in the Gaza Strip. PUA believes the lack of an airport in Gaza infringes on the human rights of Gazan citizens to move freely. Okay, this is correct. I don't understand. Like, this is, he founded it as an American humanitarian activist who left Gaza in 2005 as a State Department-sponsored exchange student and was not able to return due to the border closure and political instability. Read organization. I mean, this is, ironically enough, this is one of the goals of Hamas, for the record, is to have an airstrip again. I don't get what you're talking about. You don't find the timing suspicious? Read organization? Wait, why? 2015? I don't know. He left in 2005, the year Israel pulled out a... Oh, you're saying, isn't it suspicious when he left? Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. When Israel pulled out of Gaza. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's a collaborator, yes. I mean, he writes for the fucking... the Free Press. Like, yeah, he is a collaborator. Anyway.
I'm going to give you the page that is dedicated.
So you can see here that Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib recommends donating to his own personal vanity page on the Atlantic Council website before he even mentions an actual organization that does something for Palestinians, the World Food Program. He sort of phrases them like they're the same thing.
For sending food just for Gaza. And they are incredibly capable.
Oh, that's great. What is that's so the world?
Yes, world I just dropped it.
So send us both links so we can put them in the description.
I sent this.
Check out Ahmed's org Realign for Palestine here. It's linked in the description. So let's go to the Realign for Palestine website. This is a website that's literally just pro-Israel talking points, anti-Palestinian talking points, set up to like masquerade as a pro-Palestinian website. And front and center, you go here, donate to the movement, you click it, donate today to stand with us in building a future rooted in hope and dignity. Each contribution strengthens the movement for peace and self-determination. You might notice this is not tax deductible. It's not donating to a charity. It's literally just sending your money to Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib and the Atlantic Council. And this is marked as donates in the description of the video. After 2 years, the stalwart pro-Palestinian Ethan Klein finally attempts to raise money for Palestine. And he sends it straight to a pro-Israel think tank. And it has like this thing of like quotes from Palestinians who support it. And they're all from fucking Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib. It's literally his personal vanity website in which he solicits donations for himself. This is disgusting. This is absolutely gross. This is foul. What more is there to say about this? This guy solicits donations for himself from people who think they are donating to Gaza. What more can you expect from a dirty, disgusting collaborator like him? And what more can you expect from Ethan Klein? By doing this, Ahmed Fouad Al-Khatib and the H3 podcast are literally stealing food from the mouths of starving Palestinian babies. And that is not an exaggeration. Fucking ghouls.
I mean, yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, it's feel good. It's feel good. We did our job. We gave some money. What's bad about peace? You know, that's probably like the next stage in this, if you were to try and defend it.